Here are the casts and the characters they play. Pacharapachachwa. As Safita, Managing Director of a furniture manufacturing company. She has been grappling with anxiety disorder ever since her mother left her father and sister for another man and is overprotective of her sister. She discovers that her younger sister, Sararan, is dating an ex-convict named Jet, and strongly opposes their relationship. Upon learning that Sararan is pregnant, she forces her to leave Jet, which ultimately leads to Sararan committing suicide. She blames Jet for her sister's death and has harbored animosity towards him ever since. Her health condition worsened after her sister's death. She has intermittent episodes of hallucinations, forgetfulness and frequent fainting due to medication overdosing. Meanwhile, she discovers drugs hidden in her company's furniture and notifies Kritha, the trusted longtime employee of the company, unaware that as a result of this, she has put her life in danger. Jet kidnaps her and locks her up in a condo. He informs her that someone has hired him to murder her, but he has no intention of doing so. He states that he has locked her up for her own safety. She believes that Kritha was the person who wanted to kill her, and eventually, she strikes a deal with Jet for a significant sum of money. Under the agreement, Jet agrees to allow her to return home once he is ensured that it is safe for her to do so. When she eventually returns home, she is relieved that she can finally stay away from Jet. However, to her shock, her father hires Jet to be her personal bodyguard. Out of respect for her father, she reluctantly accepts Jet as her bodyguard but is uncooperative with him. Being an egotistic and stubborn person, she overestimates her abilities and believes she is able to protect herself and confront Kritha alone, without Jet's assistance. It is only when Jet saves her from falling into the trap set by Kritha, which could have not only destroyed her family but also her company, that she becomes aware of her vulnerabilities. Although she appears to hate Jet and her relationship with him is filled with bickering and arguments, she has unknowingly developed feelings for him. She refuses to accept that Jet has managed to sway her heart, as she struggles to come to terms with the fact that she has developed feelings for the man she labeled as her sister's murderer. To keep Jet away from her life, she reluctantly agrees to marry her fiancé Ron when he proposes, even though she is not emotionally prepared for such a commitment. While Ron prepares for their impending marriage, she struggles to get Jet off her mind. It is not until they are caught in a near-death situation, a consequence of her investigation into Kritha's drug activities, that she finally expresses her feelings for him. Meanwhile, she calls off her wedding after discovering that Ron has concealed his gambling addiction from her, and their relationship worsens as she uncovers more truths about him. When Jet presents her with evidence of his innocence, despite acknowledging it, she remains not fully convinced until she personally uncovers the truth from her sister's diary. It is only then that she realizes her unjust accusations against Jet all along. From then on, she joins forces with Jet to uncover the identity of the man who caused her sister's death. Meet Tangraya. As Jet, an ex-convict, a hired killer. He meets Sararan by chance, while she is about to jump off the bridge and they end up falling in love with each other. Safita, Sararan's sister, forces her to leave him. In addition, he has been beaten and his cafe which he runs, upon his release from prison, has been burned down. Since then he has harbored hatred towards Safita. Both his and Safita's animosity towards each other stem from misunderstandings. He believes that Safita ordered for him to be beaten up and his cafe to be burned. Meanwhile, Safita misunderstands him, thinking that he forced her sister to have an abortion, which ultimately led to her sister's suicide. When he learns that his ex-cellmate friend, Pitun, who takes order from Kritha, is seeking a hitman to kill Safita, he volunteers for the task. Despite having hatred towards her, he does not want her to be killed. He abducts her and locks her up in his friend Pong's condo to protect her life. He stages her death and collects his wages from Pitun. While confined in the condo, he struggles to restrain the feisty Safita, who becomes unruly and makes frantic attempts to escape. She begins to calm down only after he informs her that someone is out to kill her and her life will be in danger if she leaves. However, he is forced to leave for his friend's house in the province after his hideout place is exposed. While in the province, he and Safita engage in frequent bickering, yet they also get glimpses of the weaker and softer sides of each other. To allay Safita's father's Fokin's worries, he secretly visits him to inform him that his daughter is safe under his protection. However, he is forced to leave his hideout place once again after Safita's presence there is exposed to Pitun, the person who hired him to kill her. He eventually allows Safita to return home after she stubbornly insists of doing so. Upon Safita's return to her house, he finds himself hired as her bodyguard by her father, which arouses the jealousy of her fiancé, Rowan. Despite Safita's lack of cooperation, he carries out his job well, but she remains unappreciative of what he has done. As requested by Fukin, he is also out to gather evidence of Kritha's drug activities. In addition to that, he is also eager to find out the identity of the father of Sararin's child who caused her to commit suicide. His initial animosity towards Safita gradually develops into love, despite their apparent mutual dislike. He not only becomes her protector but also ensures she avoids harming her own health by refraining from unnecessary medication. After he discovers a clue as to who could have caused Sararin into committing suicide, he intensifies his quest to find the evidence to prove his innocence and to seek justice for Sararin. He formulates a strategy alongside Safita and her father to confront Kritha, and just when his plans are proceeding smoothly, he is coerced into serving Kritha, after Kritha holds his close friend Pong hostage. Thongpum Siri Pipat. As Rowan, Safita's fiancé. When his business fell into financial trouble, he started dating Safita, hoping to seize her father's fortune, while simultaneously developing feelings for her sister, Sararin. When Safita goes missing, her father Fukin appoints him as the managing director in her absence despite him having his own company to run. He discovers that Kritha is embezzling company's fund and shares the evidence with Fukin's wife Sapatra, unaware that Sapatra is Kritha's secret lover. He is happy when Safita finally returns home, but his joy is short-lived after her father appoints Jet to be Safita's personal bodyguard. He is envious of Jet because not only will Jet spend a significant amount of time with Safita, he will also live in her house. At the same time, he is having an affair with an employee in the office, Orawan, who assists him in confronting Kritha. Unbeknownst to his fiancée, Safita, he is addicted to gambling and has accumulated a large sum of debts. When Kritha discovers his debts, he asks that he collaborate with him in exchange for paying them off. However, their collaboration fails to unfold as intended, further infuriating Kritha. The situation worsens when Kritha begins to suspect that he is involved with Kritha's girlfriend, Sapatra. Meanwhile, his forthcoming marriage to Safita is called off when she uncovers his gambling addiction. Despite this setback, he still clings to the hope that she might give him another opportunity. However, his eagerness to reconcile ultimately crushes any remaining hope as he forces himself on her, and she also learns about his affair with Arawan. Phanthakan Thongchua. Pete. As Kritha. Longtime and trusted employee of Safita's father. He struggles alongside Fukin right from the beginning to make the company to its current state, and Fukin places complete trust in him. Exploiting the trust placed in him by both Fukin and Safita, he embezzles the company's funds and utilizes the company for drug transportation. At the same time, he is also having a secret affair with Fukin's wife, Sapatra. Upon being informed by Safita that she has found drugs hidden in the company's furniture, he wants her to be killed, even though she harbors no suspicion of him. Unbeknownst to him, the hitman hired by his subordinate turns out to be Jet, who saves her by deceiving him, falsely claiming that Safita is already dead. When Safita appears at a company's event unannounced, he is shocked to learn that she is still alive. However, he maintains his composure and pretends to be happy for her. During her press conference, Safita hints that she knows who was behind her abduction. He is aware that his public image is at stake if he harms Safita now. Therefore, he devises alternative plans to deal with her, but he faces obstacles in Jet, who is always present to thwart his efforts and protect Safita. When he learns that Rowan is heavily in debt, he proposes to him that they work together in exchange of him paying off Rowan's debts. Additionally, he also entices Rowan's secret girlfriend, Orawan, to break up his relationship with Safita because he does not want Rowan to solidify his status within her family once he becomes her husband. Furthermore, he also does not want Rowan to stay in the same house as his girlfriend Sapatra because he suspects Sapatra has a feeling for Rowan. Meanwhile, upon discovering that Safita is grappling with mental health issues, he exploits this situation to strip her of her managing director position. Puthari Prambandal. As Fukin. Father of Safita and Sararin. He has been in the state of distress ever since his wife left him for another man when their daughters were still young. After the death of his younger daughter, Sararin, he experiences heart illness. To avoid causing him further distress, Safita lies to him, stating that Sararin's death was due to medication allergies and not suicide. Throughout, he is being well taken care of by his mistress, Sapatra. He intends not only to give her a part of his fortune but also to marry her legally. However, his plans change after he discovers that Supatra is having an affair with Kritha. While he is grieving over Safita's possible death, Jet appears abruptly before him, ensuring that Safita is still alive and safe under his protection. Jet promises to bring her back once the situation permits. Although he does not trust Jet entirely, he has no option but to take chances by believing him. When Safita eventually returns, in order to ensure her safety and show his gratitude to Jet, he hires Jet as his daughter's personal bodyguard. He also seeks Jet's assistance to confront Kritha because he is aware that it is not easy to take down Kritha, considering the support he enjoys from most of the company's board members and staff. Panikata Sung Sa-awan. Jemmy. As Sararan, Safita's sister. She met Jet by chance, who indirectly thwarted her attempt to jump off a bridge, and they ended up falling in love with each other. She, however, did not disclose to Jet the reason of her suicide attempt. Her relationship received strong opposition from her controlling sister, Safita, who forced her to break up with Jet by locking her up in her room. Before dying by suicide, she cried out to Safita that she had been coerced into aborting her baby and that the baby's father had abandoned her. This revelation led Safita to believe that Jet was the father and ignited a deep hatred towards him for supposedly causing her sister's death. Pimpanchalayanahoop. As Supatra, mistress of Fukin. She was a staff member at Fukin's company before becoming his mistress. She pretends to take good care of Fukin, who is not in the best of health, and convinces him that she genuinely loves him. However, behind Fukin's back, she has an affair with Kritha, who Fukin considers to be his brother. Believing that his daughter, Safita, has already died, she is delighted when Fukin finally expresses his desire to legally marry her, as she would then become the sole heir to his fortune. However, her hopes are shattered not only due to Fukin's sudden cancellation of their marriage but also by the abrupt return of Safita, who takes control of the house and the company. She and Kritha devise a plan to seize all assets owned by Fukin. However, when she fails to make significant progress on her end, Kritha starts to doubt her trustworthiness, suspecting that she is involved in an affair with Ryan. Together, she and Ryan devise their own plan, wherein Ryan will gradually take control of Fukin's fortune by marrying his daughter, Safita, while ensuring he receives her rightful share. However, their plan is disrupted when Safita cancels her wedding with Ryan. Gadasara Watana Song. As Orawan, Ryan's secret girlfriend, she works in the accounts department and engages in a secret affair with Ryan. Despite this, she agrees to Ryan dating and deceiving Safita in order to help him because of his troubled company. She does not get along with her colleagues because they gossip about her relationship with her boss's boyfriend. After discovering that her manager is assisting Kritha in embezzling money from the company, she collects evidence and secretly hands it over to Ryan. When Kritha learns about Safita's impending wedding with Ryan, he offers her money to break them up. She gladly accepts Kritha's offer but informs Ryan about it. Additionally, she also anonymously passes information about Kritha's illegal activities to Safita. Ryan breaks up with her after the cancellation of his wedding to Safita because he wants to concentrate on winning back Safita's affection. Feeling guilty for allowing Ryan to deceive her boss, Safita, she decides to assist Safita in confronting Kritha. To acquire crucial information about his drug-related operations, she becomes Kritha's girlfriend and passes the information to Safita anonymously. Even though she suffers from cancer, she continues to uncover the wrongdoings of Kritha and Supatra's real identity and assists Safita until her last breath. Komsan. Arun Ruong Sahwat. As Bong, Jet's good and helpful friend. He oversees a service condominium owned by his father. Being a good and helpful friend of Jet, he reluctantly and secretly allows Jet to use his place as a hideout for both Jet and Safita and subsequently allowing them to stay in his family's untenanted house in the province. After Safita returns to the office, he once again assists Jet by working as a security guard there, keeping a close watch on Kritha and its surroundings, risking his safety in the process. Anisa Nugraya. As Toop Team. Safita's secretary. Chamwi Chimaksawan. As Sept. Kritha's right-hand man. Bukrit Taratana. As Pao. Fokin's loyal driver who is a man of few words. Polapat Welch. As Hia. Jet's ex-prisoner friend who assists him in carrying out his investigations into Kritha and Rohan. Thanap Trakultokti as Inspector Sarawat. Nachu Kanmakan as Pitun, Jet's ex-prisoner friend who offers him the job of killing Safita. Vyata Triyakun as Entyao. Tuntham Chernyim as Uncle Cow. Husband and wife, caretakers of Pong's family home in the province. Farida Waller as Kecharan, Sararan's good friend. Pun Nafasuthiwarafak as Chai, manager of accounting department who helps Kritha to embezzle company's money. Rasperfa Wisoma as Damdern, Orawan's gossiper colleague. Puthita Samanayam as Kalayan, Orawan's gossiper colleague. Supatarapon Kcom as Chum, gate tenant of Pong Service Condominium. Kontadanao as Jet's mother. Sitapun Kam Klayong as employee at Safita's company. Nikki Buntham as Pitun's friend. Chawanrut Janjitrenan as young Safita. Young Jet. credit to Thai Channel 7. Thank you for watching.